Okay, good.
It was on mute.
Welcome.
I just unmuted it.
Just making sure I got everything lined up. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
All right, everybody, the ceremony is about to begin.
No, Brandy. Oh, sorry. He was trying to call you.
Are we ready? Are we good to go? All righty, we're good to go. I'm getting the thumbs up. Good evening. My name is Jill Weininger, and welcome aboard what we like to call the USS i.c.stars. Might not be the Artemis II, might not be the Hail Mary, but to the people here tonight, it is the future. My name's Jill Weininger, and I am an i.c.stars volunteer. I've been with the program for about 13 years, and I am the captain of the ship tonight. I've had the opportunity to work with these wonderful interns as well as the interns in Kansas City and Milwaukee, and together we are coming together this evening to talk about their dreams and speak their futures into existence. So before we begin, I want you to prepare yourself. Jump aboard our ship as we zoom forward into the year 2051. It is no longer 2026. We are doing a time warp jump 25 years into the future. And in the grand tradition of Star Trek, our brave crew looks fabulous. And we are going to go where nobody has gone before, into the dreams of the future for these i.c.star interns. So these interns have been challenged with writing a speech, accepting an award in the year 2051. And you are all here tonight to witness them accepting their awards and telling you about their journey from the year 2026 to 2051. It's a tall order, and I believe that they have wonderful visions for their futures and for yours. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome up our first award winner for the evening with the award for innovation, Armand Peters. Armand, come on up.
Good evening, friends, family, and those who am I yet had the privilege to meet. I stand before you today, humbly grateful to receive the Global Innovation Leadership Award. In this ever-evolving tech world, we often focus on the what, but tonight, I want to talk about the how and the why. Earning this recognition was not easy. It took years of hard work, sweat, and more tears than I'd like to admit. This award isn't a trophy. It represents a career dedicated to making the lives of others better. Through my work, I've had the privilege of building technology that expanded access to job opportunities and helped small businesses grow. That impact is what makes this moment meaningful. To get here, I had to overcome a mountain of obstacles, some internal, some external. In my youth, I struggled with self doubt and anxiety, habits that held me back from becoming my best self. There were moments where I questioned if I even belong. But once I stopped measuring my value by the opinions of others, I found the clarity and focus on what truly mattered. Externally, I faced doubt from people who couldn't yet see the man who I was becoming. Pushing through that gave me the courage and the persistence to stand here today. Along the way, I developed a few defining skills. First, integrity, doing the right thing even when nobody's looking. That became the foundation of how I worked and how I led. Next, patience. I've always been a go, go, go kind of person, but life taught me that sometimes things can't be rushed. Growth takes time, and success requires trusting that process. Finally, understanding. Our world struggles because we don't take the time to truly listen to one another. But at our core, we all want the same thing, to be understood. So I challenge you, talk to your neighbor, your family, even those you may disagree with. Seek to understand them. You may never know the impact that that could have. As I reflect on my journey, I think about the path that brought me here, from a data analyst to a project manager to a director of innovation, and now a CEO and founder. Each step taught me lessons that shaped who I am today. I also want to take a step back to say thank you to my family for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself, to my mentors in the i.c.stars community for changing the trajectory of my life, to my peers who pushed me to grow every day, and my guest here tonight. Thank you for standing with me through it all. In the end, this award is not the reward. The journey is. It's the people I've met, the lives I've impacted, and the people who've impacted me. You are the reason that I'm here today. And as I look ahead, my mission continues to build technology that creates opportunity and to uplift the next generation of leaders. Thank you. I love you all. And together, we'll change our world for the better.
Good job. Nicely done. So each of the interns has gone through a process where they've chosen kind of a word that's their touchstone for their future. And this will be on your desk when you ascend up into those roles. Even when you're CEO, I want to see this on your desk because your job is, as you go into the future, is to advocate.
Thank you.
Good job. Next up this evening, with the Global Leadership in, I messed that one up. Global Leadership for Women in Tech Award is Izzy Badillo Mateas. Izzy, come on up.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, and thank you, Women in Tech, for awarding me the Global Leadership Women in Tech Award. Standing here and being presented with this award is something I would have never imagined earning if you had asked Izzy from 25 years ago. This means the world to me. This award is given to the women in tech who are strong leaders, creating impact not just in their home country, but around the world. They find ways to bring their fellow ladies up in the ladder in the tech industry, guiding them to find their voices and the power they hold. I am honored to be recognized as one of those women. The road to getting here wasn't an easy one. It was full of road bumps of self-doubt, imposter syndrome, and even moments of egocentrism that at times made me question if this was the road I was meant to follow. Each time I saw the road bump coming up, it was hard not to give in to those negative thoughts of disappointing my loved ones and not doing enough for my communities during tough times. Yet, I look back to my 25 years of growth, challenges, and triumph, And it was thanks to those turbulent times that helped cultivate the person who is standing in front of you all today. Through this path, I've developed skills that counteracted those negative thoughts, building my self-confidence and ability to guide others. With these skills, I learned how to not only succeed on my own, but bring other women leaders up to success with me. I can pinpoint the time that helped me start my journey, which was with the i.c.stars program, where I gained hands-on experiences, learning how to become a leader and how to empower those around me. The support and camaraderie from the mentors, managers, and my Cycle 59 mates gave me the confidence to not only believe in others, but to believe in myself. From there, things got interesting in ways I definitely didn't see coming. I started as a junior developer at this healthcare tech startup, just trying to prove I could code and belong there. But pretty quickly, I realized being good at the technical stuff wasn't the whole game. I kept looking around and thinking, where's everybody else? The women coming up behind me weren't getting the same shots. So I started small, just speaking up in rooms, making sure my interviews were fair. Little things, but it grew. That led me to a technical lead role at a fintech company, and I got intentional about it. Half of my hires had to be women from non-traditional backgrounds, boot camp grads, career changers, moms coming back to work. Not because anyone asked me to, but because I remembered what it felt like to need someone to bet on you. When I moved into engineering management at this global cloud firm, those informal mentorship circles I started in lunchrooms, they got big. Like, leadership actually noticed big. Women were showing up, sharing jobs, negotiating salaries together, celebrating each other's wins. It wasn't a program, it was just necessary, and it worked. By 2035, I became global head of diversity and engineering at Microsoft. Sounds fancy, right? But here's what I kept seeing. Women were getting in the door. Entry-level jobs, check. But leadership? The pipeline was leaking everywhere. And I realized mentorship wasn't enough. We were telling women to lean in, but we weren't building the floor beneath them. They needed infrastructure. So in 2042, I started Las Innovadoras. Not because I had some master plan, but because I was tired of watching talented women stall out. I wanted to give them 3 things I wish I grabbed sooner. Executive sponsorship, not just advice, someone with power or fighting for you. International project experience, real work, real stakes, and a living wage while they trained, not exposure. Not coffee runs, real assignments, real money, real growth. Las Innovadoras started with 50 women in Chicago, just 50. Today, we're in 23 countries. We've placed over 8,000 women into senior technical and leadership roles. And here's the number that matters to me, 94% retention. In an industry where women usually leave within 5 years, ours stay. They don't just climb ladders, they build new ones for the people behind them. 3 of my original cohort run engineering divisions at Fortune 500s now. 16 started their own companies. And one of them is standing here tonight getting this award with me. And I still carry that i.c.stars mentality every single day. Leadership isn't about being the only one who made it. It's about changing who's in the room entirely. This work has gone global now. Women connecting, innovating, supporting each other across borders and time zones, all trying to leave this world a little better than when we found it. That's the dream, isn't it? This wouldn't have been possible without the love and encouragement from people like my mentor, Jacqueline Carmichael, who saw something in my youth and decided to invest in my potential. And my best friends, Janeth, Eileen, and Max, who stayed by my side through every high and low and still thought it was a good idea to stick around for the journey as my friends. And most of all, this award is dedicated to my parents, who knew that being a Hispanic woman, this journey would not be easy, yet encouraged me to not give in. They gave me the wisdom and support I needed to begin my journey, especially during difficult times. So what is next for Izzy? Well, the way I see it, my mission remains the same. I will continue to mentor those who seek guidance, I will continue nurturing the seeds I planted throughout my career, watching Las Innovadoras fellows become executives, founders, and mentors themselves. I will continue creating pathways for others, especially for women across the world, to thrive in places where they once felt lost or unseen. Now, I will part with these words from the wonderful Audrey Hepburn. As you grow older, you will discover that you have two hands, one for helping yourself and the other for helping others. Thank you.
So as you go on to that wonderful future, your role in this world is to continue to guide. Well done. Thank you. Love hearing how far these speeches come. Next up this evening with the Ingenuity Award is Brandon Pryor. Brandon, come on up.
All right. Oh my gosh, I want an innie. Yay. Innie, it's anyway, thank you so much for this Ingenuity Award. This means the world to me. When I think about this award, I think about all of the great innovators of the world, like Nikola Tesla, Thomas Edison, and Wendy Williams. Before I say anything more, I would love to capture this moment. So if you don't mind, everybody please say cheese. All right, say cheese. Yay! Oh my God, all of you blinked. Oh my gosh. No, I'm joking. Y'all look great. But honestly, when I look back at this moment and I look at this picture, look at this award, I'm going to think about everything I've been through to get here. I'm going to think about myself at 13, celebrating my 8th grade graduation and returning to the domestic violence shelter that my family and I stayed in for over a year. I'm going to think about 2017 when at 23 I became extremely ill, very bedridden, and I had to start my life over from scratch. I'm going to think about the many, many times that I faced unemployment, rejection, and many doors that have closed after one and another. And there were so many times where I thought this might be it. You know, the curtains might close. I thought that over and over again, but somehow I held on to my joy, and my sense of humor, of course, my humor, and above all else, my curiosity. And soon enough, I started leveraging my curiosity into expertise. I learned how to listen, to be an efficient problem solver. I learned to observe things others would often overlook. I've learned resilience, adaptability, and how to build solutions from nothing to increasingly expansive possibilities. Those very skills led me to i.c.stars, believe it or not. Yeah, in 2026, where I was challenged in every which way. So my skills, as you've heard, they're very interpersonal, they're very internal. So that means I'm great at hiding, and I'm really good at being in my comfort zone. And unfortunately, big shocker at i.c.stars, there's no such thing as hiding, and there's no such thing as a comfort zone. Immediately, I was propelled into a leadership position, which challenged my capabilities in every which way. And also, the program director sat directly in front of me every day, so nothing I did or said went unheard. But that was great, because by the end of the program, I became refined, like a diamond. I came in like a little crusty charcoal, and I came out like a refined diamond, very pretty. And because of that, I was so confident, and I took a leap, and I started my own company called Blur. I know we've all heard about it. Blur basically is a company that's focused on automation and innovative software solutions for small and mid-sized businesses. I focus primarily on businesses led by or centered on disabled people, women, people of color, LGBTQ, veterans, and immigrants. I wanted to build technology that didn't overlook anyone. But building Blur was not easy. In the beginning, I struggled to get people on board with the idea, honestly. And I walked into a lot of rooms where I had little technical knowledge, where there were moments where I questioned even if I belonged in those spaces. And I'm very sure with this award, I will continue to walk into rooms questioning myself, because that's just one with the gig, honestly. um, but moving forward, I focus primarily on moving forward. Uh, Also, funding was another concern. I heard no more times to count, honestly. Not because my idea lacked value, but more so I lacked the proof people wanted to see. So I had to bootstrap. I had to stretch every single dollar. I had to learn how to work alongside engineers. And sometimes I was the developer, the support desk, and the salesperson all on the same day. I still think I get little shivers from cold calls. They're very scary, cold calls. Um, but our first product was an automated IT support platform that reduced service 60% to give small teams more time, energy, and ability to grow. I'm not gonna lie, early versions of this platform broke down constantly. Systems broke, automations failed. There were nights where I myself had to manually resolve tickets just so I could keep clients from losing trust. And then when we finally started to scale, it was a blessing. However, the pressure also grew as the demand grew. And I had to learn how to build a team, trust others with my vision, my baby, and let go of the need to control everything, which is still something I'm working on to this day. I'm growing. Don't mind me, I'm growing. So, as stated, it wasn't an easy breezy journey. The product failed multiple times until we implemented an intelligent auto resolution system that could predict and solve issues before they were escalated. It was amazing. It was wonderful. From there on, we expanded and created more predictive infrastructure tools and even early stage quantum optimization software, which helped organizations solve problems at a larger scale that we've ever seen before. So as the company grew, so did my role. Usually people go from founder to CEO. I wanted to go into a CIO role. I wanted to be responsible for guiding our technology strategy, scaling systems, and leading innovation at a broader level. And later I became a board member, where my role shifted to advising, guiding direction, and ensuring that our impact stayed at the center of every decision. And none of this was done alone, believe it or not. I want to thank all of my i.c.stars cycle mates, Cycle 59, and mentors alike. But I especially would like to thank Larry Cowens. Larry was one of the first contacts I made at i.c.stars that allowed me to let my guard down. So I infamously hate interviews. I hate them so much. They make me extremely uncomfortable. But Larry sat in on my interview, and the interview was just supposed to be about an hour, and it spread out to like an hour 30 because we spent the entire time. But yeah, it was a long interview. It was a pretty long interview. But we talked about complex concepts regarding philosophy, socioeconomic issues, and believe it or not, Batman. Yeah. I honestly couldn't wait to go to i.c.stars after our initial interview. And also now come to think about it, I don't know if it was comfort or I was lulled into a false sense of security, but all in all, I'm forever grateful for Larry being my first impression of i.c.stars. I also would like to thank my program manager, Brandy's Mava. Where's Brandy? She's right over there. Hey, Brandy! Hey! I want to thank Brandy's for pushing me towards greatness, even when I tried to hide every single day. What I thought was honestly protecting myself was actually holding me back. She saw something in me that I wasn't really fully ready to reveal. And she didn't let me stay small. And the best part, she encouraged me to grow as much as I wanted to. And to speak more on forward, the future currently holds many, many endless possibilities, especially due to this Ingenuity Award. This is only the beginning. My goal is to continue building technology that empowers people, solves problems, and makes an impact on underrepresented communities. So Thank you for this giant push. But before I go, I would like to leave you with this Wendy Williams quote. It's my favorite Wendy Williams quote. Okay. All right. How you doing? All right. So I want you to turn to your neighbor and go, how you doing? um, that's honestly, it's where that's where innovation starts. Uh, it starts with paying attention, listening, and taking care of one another. So I implore all of you to go out and be innovative. And thank you again for the Innie.
Great job. So, as you go off into the world, your role is to continue to validate yourself and others. You know, your speech reminded me of one of my favorite quotes, which is "Diamonds are forged in the fire." There you go. It's not easy to become one, right? Well done.
Not at all. Thank you.
Next up this evening with the Diaspora Global Leadership Award is Maria Boliti. Am I saying that right? Did I get it right, Maria? Yeah, come on up. Pretty in pink tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a proud woman from the Congolese diaspora, originally from Democratic Republic of Congo, my journey has been shaped by resilience, faith, and determination. I am honored to receive the Diaspora Global Leadership Award. Standing here today, feel like I am dreaming. It's like a dream come true after many years of sacrifice, dedication, tears, and prayer. Although it has been more than 2 decades ago, the memories of my first day at i.c.stars when my journey had started are still fresh in my mind. I was typical afternoon the day I worked through the i.c.star office doors, young, full of dream, burning with passion, but also carry the weight of doubt and uncertainty. As I call the elevator, I feel a rush, a drumline, despite my pastor encouragement to believe in God and myself. I still feel I decant and prepare and battle with the temptation to give up on climbing and a month to hire for my dream. I heard this arose not just through success, but through persistence. The trophy I am holding today is the end result of countless hours of practice, days of trial and error, and years of victories, and some losses that I have all molded me into the woman that is standing before you today. But more importantly, it represents the life I have been able to impact at the door I have able to help for others along the way. Through my journey, I was able to help 5 places across the Democratic Republic of Congo in Kinshasa, Limete, and Galema. One Kisanga in my father's village, and one in Lubumbashi or in Goma. Through this offer, we support over 250 students each year, giving them access to education, hope, and a better future. Each school is not just a place, but a place of hope, learning, and opportunity for the next generation. Starting from i.c.star, my career path grows step by step. From a young woman who didn't know anything about coding, I evolved into a professional in technology by applying myself to learning environment networking, opportunity, provide at i.c.stars. Along the way, I developed life-changing skills such as communication, leadership, discipline, and confidence in myself. After graduating after i.c.star in 2026, I became professional journey as a junior software engineer where I built my foundation in coding and teamwork. Through dedication and I continue learning, I grew a software engineer, develop application that support business and improve everyday operation. As my leadership skill grew, I transitioned into the world of technology project management, where I lead team, manage project, and deliver technology solutions that create meaningful impact. Eventually, I became a senior project manager and technology leader, mentoring young professionals and opening doors for others who once felt lost like I did. Looking back at the Uber ride from Chicago to Joliet that burned through my wallet, or the thousands of hours of screen time learning code, or the tears of rage after yet another failed, I tend reflecting at the world of life sown in my soul by our beloved leaders and the sensory by loving feedback and receiving from my peers. I feel nothing but pride as I am standing in front of you today. 25 years later, this transformative experience. One of my proudest achievements was creating a scholarship foundation dedicated to support children and young women who never had the opportunity to attend school. Through this foundation, we provide access to education, mentorship, technology training, especially for students in Democratic Republic of Congo, and underserved community. See life transformed through education. It will truly make this a reminder to me. In my home country, Democratic Republic of Congo, we say that to educate a woman is to raise a nation. I believe this deeply. Education changed my life, and now my mission is to make sure that education changes the life of thousands of others. I would like to give a big thanks to people who support me. I will not be there without them. To my mentor, my team, everyone at i.c.stars. To my best friend David Matasima, my brother Percy Osita, my sister Nelly Ngamala, and my brother Kevin Luming. Thank you for believing in me and standing beside me through every challenge and every victory. As human, the higher we climb to social ladder, the easier it's become to forget the struggle of those at the bottom. Since beginning my journey at i.c.stars, I made a promise to my younger self that I will never forget the young girl and women who tried to figure out life on their own. Yet, are deprived of opportunity to use their God-given talents, especially in technology, to transform their future. This dream has never left me. It remains as vivid today as when it first began. This moment serves as a powerful reminder to use my voice to advocate for great presentation for Black women in technology. I truly believe that advocating for technology education for Black women in Illinois will not only help them to achieve their dream, but also empower them to become a role model with their community. This is true power for i.c.stars, paving the way for countless individually to shine their light. So that the darkness of ignorance and poverty no longer prevents. Looking ahead, my journey is from over. My future plans include spending scholarship program for children and young women, especially those in underserved community who have not had the opportunity to attend school. I want to help create a world where no child is denied and education because of poverty or lack of opportunity. Today, I will leave you with this message from Tony Roberts. Your current situation doesn't determine your future. Your future is determined by your decision to succeed, because success becomes with a decision to keep moving forward. Thank you.
And very fitting with your vision for your future, your mission is to continue to teach. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up this evening with the Open Door Award is Oksana Cromley. Oksana, come on up. Hold on, we're gonna get the little sidekick, who, by the way, is dressed adorably, isn't he? I don't know if everyone at home can see him, but it's so cute. We're gonna try to get him. I don't know if he's agreeing. Here he comes. All right.
Oh my gosh. Good evening, everyone. I don't know if you will hear me. My voice back 25 years ago was much, much better. So, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, thank you very much for coming today to the Open Door Gala. I hope. Thank you.
icstars, they come in no matter how they feel. Now stay up there with them. Make sure they do it right.
Okay, how many? Look, you get those. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do it together. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, thank you so much for coming today to the Open Doors Gala. This is it, the big moment. The Open Door Gala isn't just an event. It is a culmination of 25 years of grit from the gift hub to the co-pilot. I want to start by thanking God for placing me in the right place with the right people at the exact right time. You know, looking at this Open Door Award today, I have to laugh at the memory of the woman I was 25 years ago. Back then, I didn't know how to open the terminal. I arrived at the start of my journey with very small English vocabulary, a very big fear of failing, and a heart full of uncertainty. I am standing here tonight to accept the Open Door Award, not because of a single achievement, but because of 25-year commitment to the idea that a door once open must never close again. This award recognizes my journey from a student who didn't know the word terminal to a congresswoman who crafts national technology policy. It honors the work I did to bridge the digital divide in Chicago's most undeserved wards and the legislation I've championed to ensure that tech apprenticeships like this one that saved my life are funded at the federal level. It is an award for every person who was told they didn't belong in the room, but who stayed anyway to hold that door open for the people that come next. Oops. When I first found the icstars program back in 2025, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't sure. I remember the first introductory meeting vividly. I sat there, tuned in by remote, listening to the expectations and pace. All I could think about was, this isn't for me. I can't do this. These two thoughts were on repeat in my head throughout the first meeting. I was ready to walk away before I even started. But Sharonda, an i.c.stars recruitment specialist, didn't give up on me. She saw something in me that I hadn't yet recognized in myself. She kept sending emails. She kept sending reminders. Her presence was the tether that pulled me toward my future. Eventually, that persistence led me to the open house. And I was so pleasantly surprised by the energy and the vision I saw there that I decided to take a leap of faith. I finished my application, and then I waited. You won't believe what happened next. It was my birthday, and I saw an unknown number flashing on my phone screen. Usually, I don't pick up unknown calls. We all know how that goes. But because it was my birthday, I thought it might be a friend calling me from a new number to wish me well. Instead, it was Sharonda, and she said, "You're accepted." She had no way of knowing it was my birthday, but I knew in my soul it was a gift from God. That phone call told me for the first time that I belonged. It gave me the spark I needed to become a fighter. The beginning wasn't easy. I spent my first week at i.c.stars literally searching my computer for something called GitHub. I remember our trainer, Jessica, saying, "Open GitHub." And there I was, typing away in my browser, wondering why mine looked so different from everybody else's. I was confused by a web browser, overwhelmed by the language, and battling the exhaustion of being a mother and a student simultaneously. I wouldn't be standing here today without my holy husband. He is quite simply the best person I know. He has supported me every single step of the way, through the late nights, the confusion, and the tears. And to my son, who used to cry for me every morning when I left for class. I remember the pictures you drew at school. You drew our family being together, and those drawings taped to my heart. You were my strength. When I felt I had none left, I did all of this for you so that you would know your mom never gives up.
I was able to grow from GitHub to a real GitHub to a real developer because of a community that became my safety net. I think of our trainers, Jessica and Jonathan. I thank our trainers, Jessica and Jonathan. Thank you for your endless patience. You took a woman who was intimidated by code and turned her into a technologist. You didn't just teach me how to write queries in SQL, you taught me that I was smart enough to lead. And then there's Brandice, our program manager. Brandice, you carried for us like a mother. You explained the world so clearly that I never felt lost. Even when the English was hard, you, along with Tandalea, our good Samaritan, and Aureli, Chris, Larry, and the entire staff, didn't just run the program, you built a home. Looking back, my life changed in 3 distinct, beautiful steps. My first stop after icstars was Provati. I started as a consultant, and let me tell you, it was a trial by fire. I learned to navigate the technical and the tactical, proving that my background wasn't a barrier, but a unique perspective. I leaned into that experience. Within 2 years, I was promoted to project manager. That was the moment I proved to myself that I could master the hard stuff. Next, I spent 4 years at Ventus as a senior data analyst. This is where the real grit showed up. I remember sitting in that office late into the night, long after everyone else had gone home, triple checking my SQL queries. I didn't want anyone to have single reason to doubt my work. It was there that I realized I belonged. A technologist isn't just about the code. It's about the story the data tells. I stopped just reporting the numbers and started showing the company what to do with them. That led me to United for 6 years. This was full circle moment. I wasn't the newcomer anymore. I was a veteran. I was managing massive projects and multi-million-dollar budgets that touched thousands of lives. I finally married my European management background with an American tech expertise. I proved I could lead a team just as well as I could lead a database. But eventually, the mission shifted. I realized the corporate world had given me the tools, but my community needed the results. I became a community tech director. Going back to the grassroots, I learned that my real job wasn't just managing systems, it was helping other families find their way. It was about taking the light I had been given and shining it into the dark corners of our community where the talent is high, but opportunity is low. And finally, you trusted me to be your congresswoman. I didn't get to Congress by myself. I got here because of my i.c.stars family, friends like Izzy, Taylor, whom I've probably bothered the most with my questions, Armand, Adrian, Josh, Brandon, Maria, Leonel, Sapphire, me, Malik, and Leonardo. You were the first people who taught me that we are truly stronger together. To my husband, thank you for holding my hand when I was crying over SQL queries 25 years ago and walking beside me on the campaign trail today. You are my rock. i.c.stars is more than a program. It is a community of opportunity. My dream for the next 25 years is simple: I want to make sure the opportunity isn't just a lucky accident or a result of well-timed birthday phone call. I want to make it a guarantee for every person, regardless of where they start and how small their vocabulary might be. So here's my ask for you today. If you find a door that is open, don't just walk through it. Don't just take your seat at the table and forget how you got there. Hold it open for the person behind you. Look for the one who is still searching for their gift of. Look for the one who is afraid to pick up the phone. Look for the one who thinks they don't belong in the room. Hold that door wide because everyone deserves a chance to fly. Thank you for this honor. Thank you for this community, and thank you for believing in the fighter I am, in me. My name, Oksana Cromley.
Feel, well, your rock should say feel better. like cough syrup and lozenges and stuff. No, don't try. It actually, that makes it worse. You just, relax. But now that you've thrown your voice and changed it for a wonderful speech, your job as you go forward after you get better is to inspire.
Thank you.
Well done. Great job.
Thank you.
Good job, buddy. Next up this evening with the Weaver Award is Taylor Hayes. Where's Taylor? There he is. Hiding in the back. Come on up. The Weaver Award. Weaver.
Testing. Cool. So, I think what motivates people is not great hate, but great love for other people. Huey P. Newton. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for coming to this ceremony, honoring me, Taylor Hayes, winning the Weaver Award. This awards the cumulative effort of my family, my friends, my fellow volunteers, and my cohort for the past few years. This award, my fault. Before I get started, I just wanted to give a few specific thanks to some very important people for believing in me along the way and on this turbulent journey. First, I want to say thanks to my auntie, Cynthia Barganier. My auntie has been there for every part of my life and every step of the way, giving her support and kindness all along the way. The person I want to thank next is my mom, Alexandria Barganier, who, with the combination of my mom's great positive attitude and her high standards, pushed me so I could attain my dreams despite the challenges that I faced. These two women are the backbone to all my success, and I couldn't have won this award without them. Also, a shout out to my tech trainers for also believing in me, Jess and JV. So now back to the quote, Huey P. Newton. I think what motivates people is not great hate, but great love for other people. This quote resonates with me because the love that was poured into me hopefully resonates with others when I encounter them. I feel almost obligated to give back to the city of Chicago and others because of the love I received from the city over these long years. I've taken these feelings of obligation and turned them into motivation, which has led me to dedicating a part of my life to the support of this city. So my journey started with getting my GED from Malcolm X Community College. And once I graduated from that program, I applied to a 2-year college, but found myself out of funds and out of work. I was facing homelessness at the age of 19 in the city I was just getting to know. That's when I found out about my local Job Corps program. Paul Simon Job Corps saved me from being homeless and gave me the ability to give back the information that I had learned via a 5-week teaching opportunity for homeless people coming out of the hospital, but still in need for medical care. I found this work enriching to the soul, and I love the feeling of the self-reliance that it gave me through this program. Years later, I found myself still wanting to give back to the community, but still struggling where to start. That's when I found the program i.c.stars. During the 14-week program, years ago, I found out many things about myself, from the way that I learned to the where I could take my focus on my efforts in my own community, to adding to my tech toolbox, and the foundational leadership skills that got me to where I am today. Also, the connection with my peers and my mentors, who I still have relationships with to this day. And finally, to the people who have also supported me over these last 25 years. Once I graduated from i.c.stars, I still wasn't 100% sure what I was going to do, but due to the political shortcomings of our economy, and our economy was in shambles, our country was at war, and the job market was as bad as it's been since the height of COVID-19 in 2020. That's when I joined the volunteer organization to help fill my time. And the first organization that I joined was Chicago Cares, an organization dedicated to community service across many causes in Chicago. With the combination of my technical understanding, the leadership training and availability that I had, I found myself in a leadership position over the technical side of their volunteer efforts within a few months. I was helping people set up home networks, to supporting educational institutions, to aiding families with their technical support, and teaching computer literacy classes to people who were willing to learn. But little did I know at my time in Chicago Cares would set me up for growth over the next 24 years of my life. My manager, Karen, helped me get my first job as a help desk technician at the University of Chicago, where she was on the board of trustees. Once I had settled into the position, I started volunteering a little bit after work. I was volunteering late into the hours of the night once I had got settled in my new position. And one day she called me back into her office. And she asked me why I hadn't gotten my degree yet. I responded with, I'm broke. The degree wasn't in the budget. And also my time was spent between working and volunteering. Karen then looked me dead in my eyes and told me that I had it in it to complete all my goals if I really put my mind to it. So I signed up and researched and then signed up for a ton of scholarships and started my educational journey once more. The University of Chicago accepted me, and in 4 years, I managed to get my dual master's degree in educational studies and civil engineering technology. During that time, I was still volunteering and was promoted to assistant manager at the help desk department I was working in. Once I completed my master's degree, I was hired as a teacher at the university, where I taught intro into hardware and software. And this is where I became an associate board member of the nonprofit organization called Idealists. Little did I know, I would actually stay at these organizations for over 20 years. As years later at the university, I became the department head of engineering, working with people who had PhDs and years of experience in the real world. And at Idealists, I had become the vice chair to the entire organization, using my network in education, civil technologies, and community leadership to grow throughout Chicago, whether it's starting connect-up agencies with great talent, creating organizations to tackle specific community issues, being asked by the governor to lead certain initiatives and mentoring some of the greatest leaders who I've ever known. Though it hasn't been all peaches and cream, splitting my time between work and my passion has led me to a fulfilling life, but it has led me to a quite lonely one. All my friends have bright and spirited families, while I sit alone confronted with the thoughts of, have I done enough? Has this journey been worth it? Then I look at all the pictures of the people around me, the lives I've changed, and I'm filled with a warm sense of satisfaction. My journey may have been different from others and my friends and family, but it has still been incredibly exciting over these last 25 years and incredibly fulfilling. I wouldn't trade it for the world. From the beginning, I knew I wanted to give back to the city of Chicago that adopted me into its community. From the help I received from my family, to Job Corps saving me from being homeless, or i.c.stars giving me the leadership and foundational skills and connections to give me a fighting chance in a harsh job market. I have always been grateful for my experiences and the organization I've been a part of and the people I have the honor of knowing. I accept this Weaver Award, not only for myself, but for all those who have been with me on this richly fulfilling journey. I want to say thank you to you all and hope you have a great night. And again, I think what motivates people is not great hate, but great love for other people.
Well done. So your role, which fits well with all your volunteer work and that vision of being a teacher at U of C, I hope you'll be the fun teacher because it's where fun goes to die, is to teach.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up this evening with the NAACP Award for Best Nonprofit Organization is Sapphire Anderson.
Good evening, everyone. I hope all is well. As I stand before you all, my heart swells with gratitude. I am so very thankful for being awarded the NAACP Award for Best Non-for-Profit Organization. I won this award by having a successful non-for-profit, which was not easy to manage. I had to sacrifice friends and family along the way. I had many sleepless nights trying to figure out my next steps, while also learning how to put myself out there even when I did not think I was ready, all while feeling hopeless. Although I am overjoyed with this celebration and moment of stillness, I cannot help but to think of the trials and tribulations it took me to get to the position I am in now. I remember a time where I could not even see my future or where I was heading the next day. I didn't have an amazing support system to get me where I am now. I didn't have a lot of people that pushed me to succeed. However, I got to where I am now by taking the next steps to change and evolve my life to become the role model I needed when I was younger and the role model my daughter needs now. I am the person I am today because I saw traits in myself that I knew I could not take with me into my path of success. I used to be a very angry and scared little girl. So angry that anger led me in a position where I could not succeed, where I could not breathe. And that position made me sit with myself. It made me sit with my anger, my feelings, and my thoughts of imposter syndrome. Those thoughts of imposter syndrome led me down a dark path, which built up and created my path to success. Without those dark moments, I would not have been able to see where I wanted to go and clear my mind as well as my mental health. Sitting with myself in that time of darkness and despair, I realized my path was very different from the one that I was already on. I was never meant to fit into the cliques and the places that I thought I wanted to be in. Not because I wasn't worthy, but because they weren't for me. I see life as a puzzle piece. Uh, and where do I fit into that puzzle? I am the missing piece. After discovering myself in that time, I learned that I needed a path of creation, motivation, and help, something I did not allow myself to take in the beginning. Along this path, I did a multitude of things after discovering my true self, my new self. Not the angry old little girl that I used to be, the new woman who was looking for happiness and fulfillment. In that time, I did filmmaking for DePaul University while also learning and gaining new skills along the way. After my time at DePaul University, I landed at i.c.stars. i.c.stars organization helped me get through some very tough times while also giving me a tough time. But that's a story for another day. I will give you a pleasant journey of my time through i.c.stars. When I got there, I was facing imposter syndrome once again. I went through things that I did not think I would go through at i.c.stars, but they made me stronger. They made me the woman I am today. A few of the things and skills that I learned at i.c.stars are how to uphold myself in high stress level situations and how to also advocate for myself. I also learned a lot of tech skills that overloaded me and overstimulated me, but also taught me patience. It made me love creating something brick by brick and building it up with my own two hands. I finally felt a sense of belonging, even though I still had a bit of imposter syndrome. So, where did I land after commencing with i.c.stars, you might ask? I had a choice to make. And that choice was to either become a ghost that just disappeared into the wind while I went through random offsite jobs. I didn't stay in the organization. I just dibbled and dabbled like I'm used to. Or I had the path of success and I chose success. I stayed with i.c.stars. I became alum. I participated even when I hated it. I showed up and put the work in, no matter how I felt. Because in the end, it was all worth it. After i.c.stars, I went to work at Microsoft doing a partnership where I created a game full of diversity and fun. I worked with Microsoft for 5 years, while on the side, I began starting up a brand and this non for profit that has got me here. The brand I created is in memory of a very dear friend that I lost in December of 2025. That brand is called Rockstar Living because that friend lived their life as a rock star. And who doesn't want to be a rock star? The non-for-profit I started was for sickle cell anemia awareness because that friend also passed away from sickle cell anemia. And that friend did not take care of themselves as much as well as they needed to. So I am, and I have created the bridgeway to self-care, mental care, and overall health and wealth. I created this non-for-profit not only to bring awareness to sickle cell anemia, but to bring awareness to health overall. Because Quan, which is my friend, was a lot like a lot of us. He liked to fight until he couldn't fight anymore and keep going until he just couldn't. And I have dealt with that in my life. I know there are a lot of people who have dealt with that too. Just wanting to push through and fight till you can't fight anymore and forget about how you're feeling because working seems better than focusing on symptoms. After working at Microsoft and starting a non-for-profit and clothing brand, I decided it was time for a pivot and a change. So I went into marketing. I went into marketing for a family company that I was connected to through i.c.stars organization. The way I worked myself into marketing is by propaganda. You all may not know, but I like to shuffle around and just try new things. So, stepping into marketing, I was back in a lowly role of digital marketing. And I worked my way up for 2 years into CMO, Chief Marketing Officer. And that time was lovely, but it came to an end like most things do. After marketing, I decided to become a full time entrepreneur and focus fully on my non for profit organization. And with that, I am now here accepting this award. So, to wrap it all up, I would like to thank my daughter, Marley Soline, who shaped me into the woman I am today and made me step up. I would like to thank Quan, who gave me the motivation and the love and push that I needed to do something outside of the normal. I would also like to thank my long term friend, who is now a part of my family, Serenity. And in conclusion, I would like to leave with a quote by Huey P. Newton of the Black Panthers Party: United we stand, divided we fall.
Thank you, Sapphire. And your role as you go out into this great big world is to continue to create. Wonderful job. Thank you. Good job. Next up this evening with the Nobel Prize in Innovation is Lionel Alcantara.
Buenas noches. Perfect. Good evening, everyone. I want to start by saying something simple. I never imagined I could be standing here holding the Nobel Prize in Innovation. I grew up in Venezuela and I grew up watching something painful happen around me. The socialist narco dictatorship was silencing journalists one by one. Televisions, television stations were being shut down. Newspapers were losing their papers. People who told the truth were being punished for it. The free press, the voice of the people, was being destroyed on purpose, right in front of our eyes. Most people look away. I could not. In my 20s, I made a decision that surprised a lot of people. I left a good, stable, well-paying job in a telecom company to work for El Nacional, one of the last great independent newspapers still standing in my country. People thought I was crazy. Why would you leave good money for that? Why would you walk toward danger instead of away from it? But I knew why. I had skills, and I wanted to use them for something that mattered. If the press was going to survive, it need people willing to show up for it. So I made a choice. I was open, and I never regretted. That decision told me something important about myself, something I could carry for the rest of my life. I was always willing to sacrifice comfort for purpose. Eventually, the pressure became too great. The socialist narco dictatorship made it impossible to continue. Just before El Nacional was forced to close its physical doors at 31 years old, I made the hardest decision of my life. I left Venezuela, not because I wanted to leave my country, but, but because staying has become too dangerous, and I still had too much to left to do. I came to the United States. as a grown adult, lost, starting over in a new country, learning a new system, a new language, and a new everything. And I found icstars, the intern, the staff, the community, the framework. It helped me to see what experience was. All helped me to see that my experience was not a burden. It was my greatest strength. From IC Star, I revealed my career step by step. I start as a product designer, learning how technologies could be built around people, their needs, their safety, and their rights. Then I moved into a senior role, building secure communication tool specialized for journalists working in countries where speaking the truth could get them arrested. And finally, I found my own international organization focused on press freedom technology, creating tools that detect censorship, protect journalists online, and train activists in more than 50 countries. That body of work is what brought me to this stage tonight and to this Nobel Prize in Innovation. The decision I made as a young professional in Venezuela to walk toward the fire instead of away from it, that decision started all of this. Decades later, here we are. To my family and friends, I could not have done any of this without you. You support me through the hardest year. You gave me strength when I had no left. You never once made me feel like starting over was the wrong choice. Everything I have accomplished because of you, of your love you gave me, the love you gave me. These awards belong to you, to every journalist and press worker around the world who trust our tools to keep them safe. Thank you. You are the brave one. I only built the door. You are the one who walked through it. The journey was no was always easy. There were powerful people who did not want this world to exist. There were failures, setbacks, a moment of real doubt. But I keep going. I learned early that feedback is not failure. You listen, you adjust, and you try again. I'm not finished yet. My next project will bring press freedom technologies into classrooms of young people across the world. Because the children growing up under authoritarianism today should not have to wait until they leave their country to find their voice. I left a safe job, one, because I believe the truth was worth more than a paycheck. I left my country once because I believe the truth was worth the sacrifice. Tonight, this Nobel Prize in Innovation tell me I was right both times. And yet, I cannot leave this stage without saying something that history demands be said. The enemy of the free press does not wear one uniform. I have watched I have watched in Venezuela, Cuba, and Nicaragua hollow out their newsroom in the name of revolution, imprisoning journalists and calling it protecting the state. And I have watched with equal concern governments on the right use the language of tyrants, calling the press the enemy of the people, treating critical voices and dismantling the institution that hold power accountable. Authoritarianism is not a left-wing problem or a right-wing problem. It's a human problem, and it grows wherever those in power decide the truth is less important than control. I build these tools for every journalist in every country living under any government that fears and inform people. Because the free press is not a political opinion. is the oxygen of democracy. Thank you.
All right. As you go on in the world, your job is to continue to advocate. You're welcome. Great job. Next up this evening with the Professional Excellence and Innovation Award is Joshua Garcia. Joshua.
Good evening, my esteemed colleagues and peers of the Networking Professional Association. Tonight, I am immensely grateful and humbled to stand before you and accept the Professional Excellence and Innovation Award. Looking out at all of you, it validates what I barely dared to believe, that I could stand among the esteemed individuals who have received this honor. Thank you to everyone who nominated me for your high regard, the association for advocating for IT professionals and granting me the opportunity to connect with all of you. I also want to thank my wonderful partners, friends, and family who supported me this long journey. Thank you, Hannah, mi cielo, mi vida, for believing in me when I didn't. I would like to thank all my teachers and mentors over the years who pushed me to be my greatest self, and to i.c.stars, the program that opened the door to my professional career in technology. Growing up, my most persistent obstacle was imposter syndrome. My home life was chaotic: an alcoholic father, a dysfunctional family. At 4, I was cast in a children's choir for Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. I fell in love with the stage, and it became my escape. I didn't have words for it then. Those didn't come until my teenage years. As my analytical and technical skills developed, I saw the systems holding me back. Underfunded schools that held choir classes in janitorial closets, instructors favoring less talented peers with more connected parents, peers tormenting me verbally and feigning friendship to get help with coursework. I watched others get opportunities I knew I could excel in simply because of their connections. My instructors praised my performance and consistently told me of all my potential, but kept me in the background. That disconnect created a wound, knowing what I was capable of if given a chance, but only allowed roles in the background. At 17, I attempted to take my own life. Towards the end of my senior year, I was involuntarily placed in an inpatient mental facility. Only after getting out did I find the clarity of mind to say no more. I saved what little I could for my fast food job and took the midnight train from Midwest Indiana to New York City. My big plan? I'll figure it out. For 3 years, I dealt with homelessness on and off. But for the first time, I found a supportive community of peers from all walks of life. Mentors double or triple my age, friends within a 10-year age bracket who I saw every day, relationships with people I would have never met without simply being in the right rooms at the right time while exploring a sprawling concrete jungle of a city. I was finally taking steps towards my dream, performing. At 20, family circumstances forced me to leave New York. I abandoned friends, a job in fashion and music, and what felt like my best chance to grow and follow my dreams. I fell into a deep depressive rut for 2 years until I met my radiant life partner, Hannah. Together, we made the decision to move to Chicago and build a life together. I'll figure it out became we'll figure it out. I was finally ready to move on to the next stage of my life. And then COVID hit. After years of unemployment, short-term contracts, fast food work, an acquaintance recommended a tech internship based on a home lab I'd built from old computer parts that I told them about. That program was i.c.stars, and its impact is impossible to overstate. I had already been self-studying various aspects of tech through a Twitch channel that I'd started up, which was a dream that I was following. Coding chat boxes and real-time translation for my captions, troubleshooting all kinds of minor and major issue for hours or days or even weeks on end. But i.c.stars gave me structure, an intense 14-week, 11-hour-a-day structure. I'd always known I'd love learning, and at i.c.stars, I actualized my love for teaching and guiding others. I resolved to go into networking so that I would be able to give others unimpeded connection, internet access that couldn't be taken away. In 2026, I commenced i.c.stars. I earned my CCNA immediately after to set a foundation of knowledge. 3 years later, I passed my CCNP, focusing on ISP and carrier networking. That certification landed me my first real role, Network Operations Center Technician at a regional internet service provider in Chicago. I spent 18 months in that NOC, troubleshooting outages at 3 a.m., learning how the internet breaks and gets fixed. From there, I moved to Equinix as a junior network engineer, working hands-on with interconnection fabrics and peer relationships that taught me the physical layer underpinning the global internet. 5 years in, I stepped into a senior network engineering role at a financial services firm, designing redundant backbone architecture and mentoring junior staff through their own CCNA journeys. Throughout those years, I added on CompTIA Security Plus, Azure Cloud certifications, and more Linux knowledge, all with an obsessive passion to understand as much as possible. After 2 attempts, I finally passed the CCIE lab. I joined the 3% of Cisco professionals who hold that plaque. I'm not exceptional, I just refused to stop after the first failure. The imposter syndrome and depression never truly disappeared, but now I look past them and see the truth. I'm capable. I'm caring. I grow through adversity and guide others in ways I was rarely guided myself. I have grown not just as a technical professional, but as a person, as a leader and a mentor, as a friend and a peer, as a partner. My work is connecting people through networking unbound by internet service providers and infrastructure limits. This is the most fulfilled I've ever been. If my work allows even one person to grow beyond where I have grown, I'll have completed my mission. Thank you for your patience while I've rambled tonight. Thank you for your support and belief. I look forward to continuing this work with you all as peers, mentors, and friends. I'm honored to accept this award, and I hope to meet and eventually exceed all of your expectations.
And your role as you go forward is to continue to teach.
Thank you.
Good job. Next up, sorry about that. Next up this evening with our Grammy Award for the night is Quentin Glover. Q, come on up.
Cool. All right. First, thank you. Thank you for coming out. But first, I just want to thank God. None of this would have happened without him. I'm standing here tonight accepting this Grammy with real gratitude because I know exactly what it took to get here. To be recognized for one of the most cultural albums ever, and to know I sold over 500 million real deal copies. That's more than success to me. That's legacy. That's everything I ever went through, finally meaning something. There was a time in my life when I was tired of feeling stuck. Before I ever reached this moment, I was working jobs that drained me, doing hard labor, and not getting the kind of return that matched the effort I was putting in. I had worked at FedEx, and that job showed me real quick that I did not want to keep living that like that at all. I went back to Amazon because it was familiar. But even then, I already knew I was done with this driving for a job and settling for work that did not line up with the future I saw for myself. So that was part of the time where it pushed me towards i.c.stars. My brother had gone through the program a couple of years before me and found success. So I had already seen what was possible. It took a lot for me to make that leap, but I wanted a real career, real opportunity, and a real shot at changing my life. I had creativity in me from a young age, even designing video games when I was younger. So stepping into tech did not feel fake to me. It felt like stepping into another version of my future, one where I gave myself a real chance to win. I started as an i.c.stars intern, just trying to learn, grow, and get my foot in the door. I was trying to become more than where I came from. I was trying to put myself in position, and i.c.stars helped me shape me in ways bigger than just work. It taught me how to move better in professional spaces, how to communicate, how to grow, and how to carry myself like somebody who belongs in the room. It helped me become stronger, not just in the workforce, but in everyday life too. Yeah. From there, the vision got clear. I saw myself stepping into an entry-level tech role, learning the game, building real skills, and proving I could do more than survive. I wanted to grow into a serious profession. I wanted to keep sharpening myself until I became somebody people respected, somebody people trusted, somebody who carried real weight. I did not want to stay at the bottom. I wanted to rise level by level until I reached senior professional status and really changed my life. That growth matters because before the lights, before the numbers, before the culture gave me flowers, I had to become somebody who could hold all of it. There was also a time in my 20s when I almost quit music, not because I didn't love it, but because life got real. I couldn't even afford to get to the studio. I believed I was stuck, frustrated, questioning everything. I was in the dark for real, underground. I was like your favorite artist, but nobody knew my name yet. But I kept going. I leaned on my faith. I built my confidence when I had none. I learned patience when things weren't moving. I developed emotional intelligence, understanding myself and the people around me. I started in the dirt and built everything I have brick by brick by brick. There were nights I had to really sit with myself and ask if this dream was worth the pain. When you're talented but still broke, still overlooked, still trying to figure out how to make something happen with almost nothing, that mess gets heavy. It will make you question your gift. It will make you wonder if the work you are putting in is ever really going to come back to you. But I learned that not every season is meant to look successful. Some seasons are meant to build you. Some seasons are meant to humble you. And some seasons are meant to sharpen you and force you to become somebody stronger than the version you started as. And looking back now, I understand that every delay had a purpose. Every closed door taught me something. Every setback pushed me harder. Every moment I felt forgotten was really a moment I was being prepared. I was being prepared. I was not being buried. I was being planted. I was building roots before I ever touched the surface. That is why, after i.c.stars, my plan was never to choose between survival and purpose. The plan was to step into opportunity, thrive in it, build something strong enough to change my life for real. I want to bring the right mindset to work every day, learn everything I could, and create a foundation that could eventually give me freedom. Tech became part of that mission or that vision, not because I was giving up on music, but because I understood that building wealth, stability, and options matter too. And as far as balancing music with tech, that has always been the plan. Since I first started making music, I always balanced it with whatever else I had in front of me. Music is my calling. That will never leave me. But I also know how important it is to follow the opportunities that can build a stronger future. I love music deeply, but I also love what financial freedom can do for me and do for your life and your family. So I followed the path that could help me win, while still keeping music in my back pocket until the world was ready for all of me. While I was building professionally, I was also building creatively. I went from being an independent artist, grinding in the dark, trying to get heard, and trying to stay alive inside the dream, to seeing something even bigger for myself. The vision grew past just making it as an artist. I started to think about ownership, started to build a label, started to think about opening doors, not just walking through them. I wanted to become a label founder and create something that was really mine, something that could put other people on too. Music gave me a way to speak when life was trying to silence me. It gave me a way to turn pressure into expression, pain into poetry, struggle into something the world could feel. That is why this moment means so much to me, because this award is not just about selling records. It's about survival. It's about growth. It's about making something timeless out of everything that was supposed to break me. So when I stand here as a Grammy-winning artist, I do not just see one moment. I see the whole ladder. I see i.c.stars, intern, trying to get into the room. I see the young professional working towards an entry-level tech role and then pushing towards the senior level growth. I see the independent artist who refused to quit. I see the future founder with a bigger vision than just fame. And now I see the Grammy winner. Every level mattered. Every season meant something. Every version of me had to exist so I could become who I am today. I want to thank my mom, my dad, my brother, and all my loved ones who stood by me when this was just a dream. Y'all saw something in me before the world did, and I will never forget that. My brother showed me that another path was possible. My parents gave me love, support, and something to keep fighting for, even when I felt uncertain. That kind of belief does something to a person. It helps carry you when your own strength starts running low. So do not worry. I am not going anywhere. I am great. I'm in a great place, and I am not retiring. This is not the end of my story. This is a new chapter. The book is still being written, and I'm still growing, still creating, still reaching, still building. Now I want to open doors for the next generation through my own label. I want to sign artists who have something real to say and give them a shot to turn their pain into purpose too. If there was one thing I want people to take away from my journey, it's this. Never let a hard season convince you that your story is over. Keep building, keep believing, keep going, even when nobody sees it yet. Because one day, what was built in the dark will shine bright. The whole world has to pay attention. So, the book ain't finished yet.
All right. So I can't wait to hear the album and as you go into the future, continue to design. Good job. Next up this evening is with the award of the key to the city of Chicago is Malik Roger. Malik.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Standing here tonight, receiving Chicago's key to the city is more than an honor. It's proof. Proof that where you start doesn't decide where you finish. Proof that struggle does not disqualify you. Proof that if you stay hungry, stay disciplined, and refuse to fold, you could build a future bigger than anything people expected from you. And there is no better city for that than Chicago. To me, Chicago is a place where unlimited possibilities are given to those who take initiative and are fearless. This city respects heart. It respects hustle. It respects people who get up, take hits, keep moving, and make something out of nothing. That is why this moment means so much to me. Because I didn't just receive this award in Chicago, I became who I am in a city built on pressure, resilience, and ambition. But before any title, before any recognition, before any moment like this, there was a turning point in my life. That turning point was i.c.stars. I did not come with everything figured out. I came with hunger, questions, pressure, and a need to build something greater for myself. I knew I wanted more out of life. I knew I wanted a future in tech, but wanting the bigger picture and actually building it are two different things. That is where the real journey began. I started with frustration. I started with questions. I started with moments where I did not have it all figured out. And one of the first battles I had to win was learning how to code better. Coding was difficult for me at first because I like seeing the bigger picture before I build. But coding humbled me. It taught me that you cannot always build from the full vision first. Sometimes you have to slow down, build piece by piece, and test as you go. That lesson changed me. It taught me patience. It taught me discipline. It taught me that real progress is built step by step and not rushed all at once. That was the beginning of me climbing the ladder. First, I grew into a full stack developer. That role gave me foundation. It taught me how systems are built, how applications function, and how every layer connects. It taught me how much work it takes to go from idea to execution. It taught me that if I wanted to build something real, I had to respect every piece of the process. And during that part of my climb, I helped build Nexus V. Nexus V was more than just an app to me. It was proof that I was growing. It was proof that I was not just trying to understand technology anymore. I was beginning to create it. I was beginning to turn vision into something tangible. Nexus V showed me that what once felt difficult could become something I could build, shape, and bring to life through discipline and consistency. Then I had to take on pen testing and ethical hacking. I knew that if I wanted to become dangerous the right way, if I wanted to become truly effective in cybersecurity, I had to understand how attackers think. I had to learn how weaknesses are found, how systems are exploited, and how to use that knowledge with discipline and ethics. That process sharpened me. It forced me to think deeper, move smarter, and carry more responsibility. After that came cloud security. And that was another level because security was no longer about one device, one server, one local network. It became about protecting massive connected environments moving at the speed of the modern world. That challenge forced me to evolve again. It taught me how to think bigger, how to adapt faster, how to keep growing even when I was already tired from the climb. And all of that led me to my final role as a cybersecurity specialist. That role was not just a title. It was a combination of every lesson, every setback, every late night, every doubt I pushed through, and every skill I fought to earn. I earned this recognition through my work as a cybersecurity specialist, not by just doing a job. I earned it by making my work mean something. I use my skills to protect people and communities that are often overlooked in tech. Underprivileged minorities who may not always have access to technical knowledge, and future tech communities that deserve to grow in safe, secure, and empowered spaces. Because for me, cybersecurity was never just about systems. It was about people. It was about protecting opportunity. It was about protecting progress. It was about making sure the next generation can build consistently without being exposed, exploited, or left behind. Along the way, I developed more than technical ability. I developed patience because mastery takes time. I developed discipline because talent means nothing without consistency. I developed adaptability because technology keeps changing, whether you're ready for it or not. I developed resilience because every level up costs something. And I developed confidence because eventually you stop asking for permission to become who you were meant to be. And I did not get here alone. I want to thank my i.c.stars family, my mentors, my instructors, my peers, my personal family, and everyone who poured into me along the way. I want to give a special thank you to my baby sister, Micaiah, for being one of the people who meant the most to me and kept me going when I needed that extra reason not to quit. I also want to honor my Uncle Larry. Even though he is no longer here with me, his presence, his memory, and what he meant to my life stayed with me throughout this journey. In many ways, I carry his spirit with me while I kept climbing. Thank you to the people who believed in me while I was still building. Thank you to the people who challenged me when I needed to be sharper. And thank you to the people who corrected me, pushed me, and refused to let me think small. You didn't just support me, You helped forge me. And even standing here with this honor in my hands, I know I'm not finished. Because my future is still bigger than this moment. My plan is to keep growing in cybersecurity, keep defending organizations and communities, and keep opening doors for people who come from places where tech success is not always expected. I want to help create a future where underprivileged minorities and future tech communities don't just enter the industry, they thrive in it, they lead it and transform it. So anybody who's listening, who's still in the fight, still learning, still taking losses, still trying to find their place, hear me clearly. Don't count yourself out. Don't let slow progress make you think you're failing. Don't let struggle make you forget who you are becoming. And don't let the fear stop you from building something greater than what is in front of you right now. Because one day, the same pain that tested you will become the proof that you were built for more. And when that day comes, don't walk in timid. Don't shrink. Don't second guess the work you put in. Stand tall, own your story, and let your presence speak before you ever say a word. As Steve Jobs once said, stay hungry, stay foolish. Thank you.
So, well, I would shake your hand, but my hand has, you're rocking it. So your job as you go forward is to illuminate. Good job. Thank you. Good work. Wrapping us up tonight and batting cleanup with the best visionary in technology for the last quarter of a century is Leo Puente. Leo.
How's everyone doing? So, good. No pressure. I feel a little pressure. I'm not gonna lie. Last speech, but thank you for everyone coming tonight. And I do want to make a correction to this award. The award for Visionary of the last quarter of the century, I gotta admit, it does not belong to me. It belongs to everyone in this room that made this possible. To everybody at i.c.stars, everybody that said that I could do it, to everybody that said that I couldn't do it. To all of those who pushed me, that came before and that will come after, this award belongs to all of us. So I want to start off by saying the Visionary Award in Business and Technology. First, the visionary is to redefine an entire industry. A leader to inspire others. Business to create entrepreneurship for myself and others. Technology to apply evolving technology to solve everyday problems. The vision created jobs for others, helped reduce waste impact on the planet. The team behind this award transformed an entire industry, a coffee industry. And in order to tell you how I earned this award, I'd have to start my journey back in 2026 when I started at icstars. So I was first introduced to the icstars by a great friend of mine who is here tonight, Hilario Celis. It was then in 2015 that Hilario had mentioned this technology program that he applied to and how he learned how to develop his tech skills and professional skills that included networking and leadership development. At that time, I was busy working in the hospitality industry, working second shift, third shift jobs in the restaurants in the city of Chicago. And I felt like I could grow in that field. It was then that the world stopped, right at the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020, due to the COVID pandemic. Everyone's world had stopped. My world had stopped. I had no plan or mental positive outlook on where I was headed. Where was the world headed? I asked. I kept asking myself this question. Right before then, I heard about the cryptocurrency and the transformation in the website and AI that was making millions for people overnight, from the news and social groups, even at work. I wanted to know more. So I watched hours of online videos and read news articles about the new tech startups and the new tech tools to explore. I said to myself that I wanted to be part of this new tech movement, but life had other plans. It was then in 2019, my son Lorenzo was born. My focus shifted to working in manufacturing shifts to paying bills and making ends meet. My personal relationships that had formed during that time had ups and downs. And pardon me, I'm sweating a little bit. It was right then, a few years later, that my world started going down. I separated from the mother of my son. I felt lost, and I had resigned from my job and began looking for work. At that time, I had gained weight. I had no positive outlook during this time. But during this time, I was grateful to my mother and my siblings for being there to help me guide me through this mental tough time. After a couple of months, I started working out again. I started slowly just lifting weights at home. Then eventually going to the gym. Getting my body physically fit was an obstacle I needed to overcome. I invested in my health before I could invest in my professional self. At this time, I developed the skills to be confident and determined in my tasks and goals in life. I knew I wanted to be a leader. I knew I had to address my weaknesses and strengths first. That as a leader, I wanted to serve others to have vision, discipline, and self-belief. Again, my great friend Hilario told me about the i.c.stars program. He asked me if I was interested, that I should start taking online courses to prep me for this great program. So I started taking courses online, like the IT introduction course on Coursera, to get certified and to be interested in IT careers. At this time, I was working at a call center as a customer service representative. And within a few months, I was promoted to a team lead. Others there had saw my potential to grow and learn as a leader. I learned corporate processes, software systems, IT network systems, virtual and in person. Eventually, that comfortable environment did not last long. I was laid off due to the company being sold to a bigger firm in July of 2025. So I was out of a job and career, and I had to grow to enjoy. i.c.stars was still on my mind. But instead, I wasted time. I was laid off. I started drinking. I started smoking to pass the time and to numb the stress of not caring about anything or my professional self. I was okay being comfortable, but my mind craved learning and knowledge. Finally, I reached out to my friend Hilario, started the process to join i.c.stars. At i.c.stars, not only did I learn tech, I learned leadership skills. The leadership skills that helped me start my own business. My own business that I knew I couldn't do alone. With the help of AI, like ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, and Copilot Studio, to assist in building the business I had envisioned. So I started vibe coding. I started asking Copilot questions to generate images of an eco-friendly coffee brand that aligned with my brand mission to be an eco-sustainable and different company, to be different. And from this cup right here, I started to envision this packaging to a consumer cup has always been the same, but I decided to be different. I asked myself, I would like to know where the coffee beans come from, originated from, and finally to be served to you. The problem with this cup, and that many of you don't know, it's made out of plastic and paper. Well, were we really enjoying the taste and benefits of coffee? Or was it being contaminated by the consumer need for reliable and affordable coffee to the masses? I knew I couldn't change the consumer needs, but I could change how the coffee was going to be sold, at the same time, make a living to support my family and I. The journey will be a literal grind. That's a coffee joke there. And so I started asking Copilot, generating budgets, documents, what I needed to start this coffee business. A hypothetical business startup plan without spending a cent yet. This coffee business, I would be my own boss. Call the plays, direct the company vision and mission, and the need to have a different coffee experience to share that experience with all of you. Goes back to my personal mission statement, to inspire and awaken motivation or encourage others. Just like myself, to be that role model to others by building a business and encourage me to do it and for others. And during the writing of the speech, and at this time, I didn't have a name yet for this coffee brand, but I was not afraid to take the next step, just like the next step that I took at i.c.stars. Meanwhile, to support this vision and business, and to support myself and loved ones, the technical skills I learned at i.c.stars, from full stack development to coding, and to know what a simple app can do. With this knowledge, I gained entry-level positions to IT intern apprenticeships on the emphasis on UX technology design. I knew I wanted to design and have the skills in my career that could benefit the business that I had envisioned and that I enjoyed learning. The user experience, user design, user interaction workshop stood out most at my experience at i.c.stars. I see myself as a visionary, and I took jobs as user experience techs in Chicago. At this time, it helped me get the capital to start my e-commerce coffee business, to be a co-founder, but not to be a co-founder for myself, but for others. Thus, in charge of a company from the top down, I wanted this to be a legacy that I could leave behind to others and to my son. And eventually, I quit my tech job, fully invested in my time and resources into my business. As the great hockey player Wayne Gretzky said, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So I took that shot, and I could not have done that without the support of my mother, Maria, and my aunt, Eva, for supporting me along my i.c.stars journey, especially my friend, Hilario, for sharing that knowledge of i.c.stars. My future plans, well, who really knows what the next 25 years will bring? But I would say that I would prefer to retire, that I could focus on my health, my family, and to help my son Lorenzo to not just become successful in his academics, but to be his mentor, to be his friend, and mainly a father. And I'd like to leave you with this quote. Give me a second. Well, two quotes, actually. Sorry. That leadership and learning are indispensable to each other, by John F. Kennedy. Meaning that you can't be a leader without learning from each other. And finally, my call to action to this room and to others, and to the others you speak after you leave this room tonight, is that help those in underserved communities access academic resources to start their own businesses or to get their foot into the door and into technology. Just like how i.c.stars helped me grow as a leader in business technology, you could do the same for others. And as this Spanish proverb goes, échale ganas, am I saying it right? Échale ganas, meaning give it your all, but not just that, give it your all to all. Thank you.
And as you go off into the world, your job is to continue to inspire. Well done. Thank you. So I want to just thank everybody who is here in person tonight, and also those of you who are out on the great World Wide Web. What you saw tonight was hard work layered upon hard work, layered upon more hard work. Everyone joins i.c.stars thinking it's all about technology, and the tech skills are the table stakes. You need those just to come to the table. And it is the life skills, the leadership skills, the business skills, the vision, the grit, learning how to learn, identifying what you need to unlearn, reinventing yourself over and over and over. That is what is going to make you successful. Now it is time to go out and make those dreams come true. I can't wait to see it all happen and watch from the sidelines. You're a wonderful group, and I know you're going to make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. I know that Jill mentioned that she has been volunteering with icstars for many years, but what she didn't mention is she came all the way to Chicago from Utah to actually be here to MC tonight. So not only does she support our interns when she's virtual, she shows up in person. A little back ago, we gave her a gift, which is a dream catcher. And the idea of a dream catcher is to catch all the nightmares and the bad dreams so that the good dreams can flow through. And she's done that for thousands of words, even filtering out bad ChatGPT to help create and cultivate dreams. So people, I kid you not, the interns are exhausted, right? Like, it's been the longest 14 weeks of their lives. And I am like, you need a witness. You must have a witness. This is not an option. You guys are really ticking me off, right? Because they would come up with reasons. Well, they got to come to commencement and work into 5 and all of these things. But the power and the importance of witnessing a dream inspires the nation. I grew up in an era. I was born in 1982, so I'm what they call a geriatric millennial. And I was still a part of the class of people who just wanted you to get a good government job, to be practical. When I listened to the interns cycle after cycle, and I'm also an alum myself from 2006, it's almost time for me to rewrite my dreams, 20 years post-internship. And it's that a person without a dream is a person without vision. And what a power play is to remove the vision from the underrepresented, the unseen, and unheard. I demand that you hear us today. I demand that we have witnesses to every dream and that we encourage them, that we encourage the risk of those who sit in garages and founded large tech companies to those who will begin their dream with a simple coffee bean. It is that belief in the vision that creates the new nation. And so as I sat here listening to all the dreams, I came up with like 11 questions for all of us to ponder. And I'm not your program manager, but I want you to pretend with me and just close your eyes. And I want you to ponder these questions as I read them aloud. Are we seeking to understand or command? If we have 2 hands, why do we only use them to help ourselves? How you doing? Because knowing where you are empowers you to find and lift others through innovation. Who are you looking for? Who are you looking out for? If the mission of a woman is to raise a nation, what is the mission of the community that fosters that woman? What motivates you more than love? Nothing can grow from nothing. Fear and hate are rooted in nothingness. Where do you fit in life's puzzles? What part do you play in clearing the way for those who come behind you? Before you can be giving your flowers, what have you done to contain them? Are you being buried or planted? What is on the verge of blooming? What does faith and what is unseen allow you to build into the future? What are you willing to do even while scared? Welcome to i.c.stars. Welcome home, and thank you for being an important part of the community, a witness into the future, and what we need in order to be fortified and sustained. Enjoy the rest of the chicken, and have a good night.
Thank you so much.